All right, are we coming in hot? Let's check the mic. Okay, the mic should be going all right. Fantastic. Hi, everyone. Hope you're well. It's Tim Fairweather here from Zen Trading Tech, and I'm going to be trading the Euro session on the stream. It is Monday, the 7th of April, 2025, and let's see if we can get some trades happening. I've got the FDAX continuous contract. I'm not trading off TradingView. I've got a NinjaTrader terminal next to me, which is what I trade off. But you can trade whatever you like. So monthly chart, let's have a look at some of the stuff we need to remove from the weekly charts and the monthly charts. We had a weekly sell signal, and you can see if you sold the close of that bar, you're already sitting at about 2 to 1. That's basically where we are right now. I'll put the values on it. Just going up to the close. So 19631. To our weekly sell to close. Okay, so let's lock that in. Now, other traders would be selling below the low of that bar, 93. Oh, there must be a faster way to do this. There is on NinjaTrader. TradingView, not so much. Okay. And then one tick for the entry. $190.80. There's going to be 2R weekly sell stop. Lock that in. Okay, so we've got a couple of weekly targets on there. So I got a couple of monthly targets. Sorry. Hi, Javier. Awesome. Should we just trade ES as 170 points? Yeah, I was watching that this morning. I was trading Hang Seng, and you know, my stop was like 500 points away. It's just outrageous. So monthly chart. So we've closed these gaps. We're obviously always in short. So what this week's really important. I said in my video, when you've got a ridiculous bar that's this size, you know, if you look at Z bars, bars that are larger standard deviation than usual, this is a ridiculously sized bar. And it's important what the follow through is likely to do. So if someone was to sell the close of that bar, 8.99. The high. There we go. Come on, come on. Here we go. Getting there. Close. This is why it's much easier to use NinjaTrader for targets, but whatever. Drawing's good. So this is good. Hope you're well. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Mine was pretty chilled. Oh, nice, Javier. You've gone through the training videos. Yeah, mate. The drills, that was the only way I could get good at trading. just come up with a drill, come up with a practice, you know, usually from the variety of mistakes I would make on every trade on every day, and then just, you know, build them up one by one. Just like in the gym, I think my brain's just simple enough for that to work for most things. So yeah, cheers, mate. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So we've got a couple of targets below. It's incredibly volatile. So, you know, the size is going to need to be small, and we're just going to see what's going to happen. Obviously, this bar is not a buy the close bar, right? We've just immediately gone below, and we're vacuuming down to wherever the market is going to decide this last trading range is going to be. I thought the trading range would be up here. We've blown past it, and so you know, if we go to the last all-time high, I'll put that back on the chart. I thought I already had all-time high. Prior all-time. There you go. Oh, mate, it's got it all happening. So we'll see. So weekly chart, we're down. Surprise, surprise. We've crashed through the 200. So similar to ES, we're probably going to come up and touch that at some point. But at the moment, it's just very bearish. Might just be hard to get an entry in. So if we look at this chart from the daily perspective, we've got a bull spike here and then a low one sell. We've got this whole range that we broke out of. So we've got a few magnets around about 19776. Let's see if it might be so volatile that we just blow through all these, but we'll see. At least we've got something on the chart. Yeah, so we are now 18% from the high, 20% is going to be around about these levels here. So you see how now we've got like multiple reasons lining up for going to this level. We don't have to just go straight down. I mean, we could. We might go sideways, come down on a second leg. You really just don't know. But this was a very tight trading range. We had a breakout pullback, and then we broke out of this. So you can call it a wedge. 1, 2, 3, broke above, breakout pullback test. Now we're testing the wedge. Or you can just say, hey, it's a tight trading range, which is going to be a magnet for later on. Let's just get... so at least we've got some high time frame targets that are on the charts. But it might just be we're going to need to use the Globex to put this together. Let me just make sure I've got the right session. We'll use Frankfurt Open. I think because the gaps on the etc. is going to be too large for now. Okay, let's get the 5-minute chart. Morning, hi Maddie. Tom saying tending to buy. Well, I mean you've got risk low for the buy, but the probability is still down. So I'm going to see what happens on the moment. We've got 2R of that trading range, 2R of the monthly chart, and you can see at the moment, you know, we could just keep going down, and the market say, no, we don't really care about that price. So we're trying to find a basis for putting together trades. At the moment, pre-market, bull's not doing a lot. Hi, Victor. Thanks for jumping on. So I had a good chat to Richard last night as well. So just in terms of Brooks price action, and we're putting together some ideas about running a Euro room. I think we're going to try it out maybe 2 or 3 days a week and then move to 5 days. At the moment, I suspect it'll just be Tim Stout and myself, 2 Tims, but I think it'd be good if we had more traders who are open to presenting, or they're looking to, you know, for that next stage of development, just to kind of share the load You know, if we're going to be streaming US and streaming Euro, we all want time to trade, you know, by ourselves. That's why you get into trading. So we'll see how that pans out. So we're opening, we've gone right past 20,000. Where's the, this is German 30. So one thing to pay attention to, this is the 24-hour chart. Sorry, the continuous chart. What am I saying? The overnight chart. I got it. Pullback here was 500 points. All right. So just bearing in mind, this is the counter moves that the market's experiencing. And what I might do is I'm going to keep it on FDAX on one chart. And then I'm going to copy this and get German 30 on the other one. Just like having a bit of overnight action. Okay. So we can see here a couple of bull bars and we've broken below. But at the moment, we're always in short on DAX 30, 1, pullback 2. So we're probably going sideways to down. But I want to see what happens when we open with this kind of a pullback. So is that beep too annoying? This is just a warning 30 seconds before a 5-minute bar closes. Someone saying, how do you manage when a pullback becomes a breakout in an opposite direction? Yeah, Harish, have you got a chart? So I'd really prefer if someone's got a question, if you give me a chart with a time frame and a bar number, then I can really explain more detail. Unfortunately, general knowledge in trading is fairly useless. It's all the little details. So that's going to help me explain it. And then I'm happy to answer it. Oh, is that okay, Brian? Yeah, the beat? Cheers. It's just so that if I'm answering questions, I can make sure to flip back to the chart and I won't miss entries. Okay, so we've got a phenomenal gap, just a very light 1,400 points. Hi, Atomic. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, the trading's been good. Mostly continuation trades. I've been trying to weed out reversal trades from my trading. I'm just not that good at them, to be honest. A bit of self-awareness. I tried to swing more, but my hit rate dropped down to, 65%, or it's usually much higher than that. So I just got back to breakout trading, and then I'm happy where it was last week. Okay, so let's, I've got a little indicator here, just going to tell me the average bar range. If I put it on Frankfurt, okay, it's telling me the average bar size is 127 points. Okay, so that's one bar. So we need to be aware if we're taking a trade that's okay with pullbacks, then the size can be really small. The common mistake I would make is to just move my stop to a skunk area and trade a bigger size and then exit quickly. But you take a few wins and then you take a big loss on a reversal. So I think that's just not a good idea. Javier, what was your favorite video and why? Be interesting feedback. If you're open to sharing. So I've got the pre-market here. I just want this trend line on there to see what happens. The gap's huge, the volatility's big, and the mistake is just to say, oh, well, it's got to go down. There's always two directions. We can only print on the chart where traders want to buy. So you see this massive gap here. that means no one was interested in trading there. But where the bars are printed, there has to be traders buying, and they're buying for a reason. So we're always in short, but I don't want to be blind to the fact that this week might have some very strong bull moves. Spike break. Yeah, that's one of my favorites, mate. That's awesome. Yeah, 2 bars. Yeah, close above high, close above low. Yeah, absolutely. I got the good ones. Fantastic. That's good feedback. Am I looking for a pullback to sell? Yeah, I'm looking to see, it's the start of the week. Gap down means we're expecting a short swing at some point on the open. But also, like, where are the stops? You see how I could put that bar in the middle of the chart and there's nothing. And so we could quickly vacuum to a place where traders are more interested. G'day, Victor. Linda Rashke, I'm not familiar with her, but I'll write her name down. I'll Google her later. That's cool. Always interested in what everyone else is doing. She says to focus on continuation patterns that form over a 2-hour period, example from the open. Well, continuation patterns are the highest probability trade. So I totally agree. That's all you need to become profitable. The trick is on the open, you've got 2 to 5 reversals. So if you can get the practice in and not scale in on the open, and ES I'll pull up is an example. The last couple of weeks have had just massive switches of directions on the open. If you scaled in, you would have taken huge losses. So, you're selling here and we go 85 points up. You sell here, we go 50 points up. This is just really bad stuff. So big bear bar 1. I'm going to wait for a second bar. I want to see where the stop entry traders are present. This is pre-market as well. So because there are higher time frame targets, like we could zigzag across them, we go up, we'll see. Okay, so tail on bar 1. So it's bearish, but why aren't traders holding? Because the bar's 250 points tall. Context, high time frames, and momentum. Yeah, absolutely, Tom. I actually think that's probably a better answer to what do you need to become profitable. Or combine them, context and continuation. We're just on a 2-minute chart. Okay, so we've just hit 1R of that weekly bar. basically a sell the close of that weekly bar. I'll just put that on there. Someone's using the word thesis. I like that. Let's have a look. Can we say big gap down, odds are trading range? Likely below the EMA, so can get at least a small second leg, but it can also be a vacuum sell climax. Yeah, so right away this is a 2-minute chart, by the way. So I'm looking to see what the counter trend moves are for a pullback. So that's 172 point pullback. Okay, so I'm looking to see, is this getting bigger or smaller? I don't have a second bar on the 5-minute. Yeah, so and what Atomic Rage is saying is because this gap is huge, it's difficult to place a stop here. It's difficult to place a stop here. And that means we're likely to have a big sideways range at the end of the day. Yep, that's likely. It's also a gap down, so we're looking for a short swing. So you can see just as we hit that pullback distance, traders are looking to start selling. It's not my kind of sell because it's a counter trend signal bar. I'll just get rid of that, but I think everyone knows what I'm doing there. But yeah, watching the vacuum move. So pre-market was a bear bar closing on its low. 15-minute with pre-market has all been bearish. And then I'll switch back to the 5-minute chart. So not good to sell on a stop below, and therefore for me it's not going to be good to buy on a stop above a bull bar. If this turns out to be a great buy, then I'll judge what side I want to be on. Yes, it's no surprise there's going to be a tail. Yeah, so one thing, Atomic, with that thesis is to go through a lot of charts and to get a percentage. And you'll get a percentage that you've worked on yourself and gone, okay, I've gone through 100, I found 100 of those days, and this is the likelihood. Without doing those kind of exercises, it's difficult to trade that. But the thesis makes sense, but I'll let you find the stats because then they become yours. Hi, Ben. What about trading the E-mini Asia London? Nah, I usually just trade the RTH for whatever I'm trading. Or if it's Forex, I want to trade, one side has to be in session. Just find the price actions a little bit easier. It's still hard, it's just a little bit easier. Al says trading all markets and all time frames the same. Yeah, but you've got to look at the patterns. And out of session patterns can be very climactic. Yeah, at least in my view. So is 1 a good signal bar for a short? No, it's a bear bar with a big tail. But it did trigger the short. 2 is not a good reversal bar, but we're very far from the moving average, far from all the magnets above. So not surprised, probably going up to sell a bit higher. I'll if that's the pre-market sell, we're basically testing the open now. So what I want to see is what happens at the open. Is this too low? Is it too high? Are we going to go back to these magnets and zigzag? But not a good buy above. You can go on a lower time frame if you're feeling frisky. I'm not because it's just too many sudden moves to also answer questions, I think. On the 2-minute chart, you can argue, you know, bear breakout of a bear channel. So bulls probably need 2 legs sideways to up. But they haven't broken a trend line. Maybe we'll use the 2-minute and I'll switch to the hourly later. Yeah, so chatting to Richard, some of the options were to do, you know, we're thinking about maybe doing a Tuesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, something like that in the room. This is fairly strong bars now. So you can see the pre-market kind of small overlapping. Now we're getting some real whippiness. I was actually thinking about holding like a bit of a Q&A where we can set it up so someone can bring in charts. We can actually look at trades. Because on YouTube Live, we can't post charts. You could get the link from TradingView or your software, and I could do it that way, but I think that's useful. We're just trying to form a bit of a range and then set up a kind of measured move. Okay, so we're going to get our first 15-minute bar. Looks like it's be incredibly small bear bar, but it's still closed bearish. Okay, so it's for the bears, it is a bear bar, but it's not very strong. Some computers will just see this as a bull bar. And the pullback is more than 2/3. So it's a trading range, and that to me says don't get sucked into buying too high, don't get sucked into selling too low. What are, without even looking at the encyclopedia, because most of the team I can see on the chat have been trading quite a while, what are the most common outcomes for the next 12 to 18 bars? What are the expectations? If they don't pop into your head really quickly, you just need to do a bit more flashcard work, a bit more practice, look at more charts. First bar of the day is a bear bar. Okay, we've got one possibility forming a double bottom. That's right. And so Peter says, think double bottom. The question I didn't ask was, if that's the case, what are you going to avoid doing? If this is a big bull bar closing on its high above 1, what are you going to avoid doing? Okay, Tom's saying trading range. Tomic. Yeah, we're going to avoid selling low. We're going to avoid buying high. Exactly. And so if it works, okay, then great. We've trapped bears, probably. We might get a bit of a range. This reversal was quick, right? Bad close. And then so far, these bars are very small. Double top near EMA, wedge top near EMA. Yeah, nice. Nice Nash. Yeah. Because I don't know, in my own trading for many years, I would often take just the first 2 losses in the first 6 bars, and then I'd trade beautifully the rest of the day, like just really well for my ability. And then it just always limited the success I felt. It's like I had to take 2 losses before I could trade the way I knew I could trade. And it's usually this stuff, like, buying on a limit order below these bars. Well, that's not a good trade because there's no breakout. You want a breakout pullback. But, buying below these bull bars in a trading range, well, that's not an area for buyers. Buyers want to buy down here and here and here. Or they want to break out follow through and buy up here. Or a pullback. So it's like I was always too early. So we broke out of the bottom of this bear channel. We're breaking out of the top, and we're probably going to come back to the middle. Is this the sell climax below that range? Okay, so now we're back at the open. We'll bear sell again. Our top left is 2 minute. For some reason, it's vanished. That's better. There you go. I'll put this on. Yeah, nice. So that reversal for the bulls, the implied high 2, was a good trade for them. But they really need a strong profit off that. So 1R back to 620 or 628, sorry. For me in a trading range, I either want to enter at the extremes or definitely wait for bars to close. This is up here. Is it going to finish below the high of 1? Tom, where's the swing stop? Okay, nice. So good bar, the bulls on 4. They've got a gap to 1. We didn't trigger the buy yet. Looking good for bulls to get a couple legs sideways to up. So that was nice. Nice pick up atomic on that one. I'm still flat. This is the definition of buying high. I'm buying a bull breakout. So I'm going to wait. What I said in my market report is when everything's really bearish, you can have just incredibly strong bull moves fueled by bear scaling in. And it's almost like you've got to wait for a bull breakout to sell. It's really difficult. I find it very difficult. Really easy to look at a chart and say, yeah, you just wait for the low one. Yeah, but the low ones itself is a breakout above where you're selling. So it's tough. So micro channel for the bears on the 15-minute. So bears trying to get a second leg pullback. They're not actually above the high of that spike yet. That's what I mean. They're like waiting for like 1 or 2 points to sell. Oh, that was your swing stop. Yep, gotcha. Oh, you were going for their stop. Yeah, nice trade. So far, bulls have got a gap too high or low. And traders bought the close of 3. make it blue. So moving average gap bar for the bears. Let's see what happens. Okay, so they broke swing stop. It's good for bulls. Now, will they pull back into this range, I wonder? If you bought the close of 3, you want 667. I don't actually think that's a good buy the close. Usually in a reversal, I want it to trigger and come back, which it didn't. The first 15-minute bar was a bear doji. What can the bulls do here? Let's see. I think you could still be short on the 15-minute chart down. Some bulls will be long, but it's a trading range for them. So if this is a bear bar closing on its low, what do you do as a bull? What do you do on 5? So if this was a trending environment, this bull bar should have got another follow through. We had a couple of ES days like that. Well, here's one example. We break above, pull back, that starts a bull trend. We break above, pull back, trend up. That's not the same, but sideways. So I think so many bear bars down in this spike probably needs a second leg. Will the bulls get a couple of legs sideways on the 5 minutes, 5-minute chart? I think 5's a bad idea for you if you're long. But we'll see if anyone agrees with me. Tomic's saying the close of bar 3 was not a good buy, so that might as support. Now, yeah, I think so. I think it might have been the case that because we triggered it, but then we haven't come back. So we're going to see now what traders think of it. Yep, back at the open. So this is what I want to see. Pay attention. Are traders happy with the open? Like if we form support on 6 and then we get a bull bar 7, 8, then anyone that was short is looking at a bad trade. But, you know, you see 5. 5's not a good sell signal, yet traders sold the close. So that's real trading range price action. Bad signal bar, traders still enter. We're trying to organize the next live trading seminar. I think it might be Vegas. We were going to do Orlando, but they just put the price up on everything. And we found some great, audio guys and things like that, but the Wi-Fi in that room, the internet's just not good enough if we want 150 traders in there. So see what I mean about the low one sell happens after a breakout up? See how confusing that is? Just very deep pullbacks. So we've expanded the range. Can 6 be a sell signal and trigger for a sell? Let's see if we get a sideways bar. Okay, so we've got a bear doji first 15 minute and then a bull doji second 15 minute. So definite trading range. That means it's going to be difficult for stop entries. If we go above 6, it's probably sellers. Because it's a gap down, I'm going to give extra percentages to the bears. I sold a very small amount on the close of 5. So 4's a strong bull bar. They don't get the bar they want. And so I just take a small position to see if I'm in sync. I wouldn't scale in. I'm just trying to test how quick they're going to get out when they're disappointed. The tariff thing is a real roller coaster. Yeah, and to be honest, when US wakes up later, it could all backflip as well. They could just turn around and say, oh, look, we won't implement them here until next week, next month. So it's, to me, all the moves have just been vacuum moves down to where the market thinks, okay, that's probably reasonable. I guess we'll get a chance to buy all the tech companies nice and low again. What a roller coaster. So who called it? So this is what I'm going to try and bring to my streams a bit more. I think who called the low 2? So we had the high 2 reversal, the bear breakout of a bear channel reversal. So Tom, good on you for that one. And then was it Javier or was it Tomic? I'm just trying to think who. We said if we're expecting bulls need a double bottom, yeah, this breaks a trend line, but they're going to need a reversal down here, and that means. And this was my big mistake on so many opens is putting limit order buys here. Yeah, they can work, but if you're a bull, there's just no real reason to buy here. If you're buying a breakout, the breakout's up here, and if you're buying a double bottom, the double bottom's down here. And I would always get stuck in a limit order and then, you know, scale in and take a big loss, and then it would work later. So far, it was sell the close 5, and it's been sell the close 6. We're right in between these two magnets. That might actually be the hot zone there. Okay, there might be another target I'm missing. So testing the bull bar on 3. So 3 was a pretty bad signal bar, but traders bought the close, or more likely bears hit exit. I think better to be flat or short. Close the gap with a 2 high. Yep, thank you. That's good. Good spot. So no more gaps here. Wonder if we will vacuum down to the 1 close. Bulls want a second leg up. But I'm not interested with 3 bear bars. So did anyone else did they have or currently have that experience of taking a loss or 2 on the open and then trading well? Or is it just me, that weird behavior? So it's a high 1 above 7, but I'm currently short, so I'm going to see if this takes off for a second leg. I think the stop for the bulls is just too far away. Let's see. Ah, okay, taking no trades the whole day. Yeah, bit of hesitation. Well, El Culo, I would write down your thoughts as the day goes on. Like if you take notes and just put the bar number. So, you know, right now we'd say, okay, it's bar 7, and I think it's a bad high 1 above 7. Bulls want a second leg up, but I think the bears are going to second leg down. And then if this turns into a strong bull leg, when I look back at tomorrow, I can go, okay, what did I get right? What did I get wrong? So you kind of just slowly tweak your ability to predict the next bar or 2, and then that'll give you some homework for drills. That's one idea. Or holding a position too long. Yep. Yep, that's classic. And then not holding it enough when you're in a trend. That's annoying. Yeah, don't trade before bar 9. Yeah, that's good. Good awareness. Just find where you need to start. Hey, I know some traders that don't start until after an hour, after 2 hours. They just wait for the volatility to die down. So we've gone above the open once, twice, and now we're currently closing back below the open. So we've had one reversal here on 2. We've had a second reversal on 5. Now we have an opening range for either direction. I don't, at least for the bear case, even though I'm short to get down here, I don't like the chances of selling below 2. There's probably going to be bulls down here. Is there a magnet I'm missing? Is there any reason why the market just loves this price right now? 19.3. Probably missing a magnet. Interesting, Anonymous. So when you don't have any losses, you take profits quickly. Yep, so you're just scalping. And then when you have a loss, you start holding to get it back. Yeah, and that's difficult because now you're trading your account and you pass trades and you start to lose sync with what's happening here. Yeah. Is the measured move of yesterday's range? Well, I think I thought I had that. Have I got the wrong chart up? Okay, so reversal bar 8 for the bulls. Bulls want a second leg up. So that takes me out of my short. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I missed that. I thought I had that on the chart. G'day, Byron from Melbourne. How are you, mates? My sister lived for many years in Melbourne, so I was always sitting to Melbourne all the time. Great place. What part of Melbourne? So Maddie saying I'm doing well on demo and back trading. Yeah, and that's the thing because on demo and back testing, there's no emotional part to it, but we're human traders. And in back testing, you can take 3 losses in a row, 6 losses in a row, and you don't care. But when you're live trading, you can start to change your strategy. You start to get upset. You take profits faster. You use bigger stops. You trade a bigger size. You just change the strategy. So I think it's of limited use once you get to a certain point. You're better off finding a way to trade very small. You can trade, for example, the German 30, which tracks the DAX on a CFD, 10 cents a point. So you take a loss, who cares? It's $5, $3, $2. And I actually think that's better for learning. So we've got a breakout pullback buy on 8. I got out of my short above 8. I didn't reverse to long. Can 9 relief the bulls on 4? Or bulls buying for a breakout opening range up? Oh, nice one, mate. Yeah, good place. Oh, g'day, Maurice. Hesitating too much, entering too late. Small profits, large losses. Yeah, you got to really tackle all of those individually. I'm trying to do some more videos on like taking one particular error and how you can work through it. So we break out of this bear channel, we come back and we test the top of that channel. So bulls would like a major trend reversal on this smaller time frame. I'm just using that so we've got a bit of education happening. But I don't like the 3 bear bars for the bull case. So I sold the close of 5, but then I get a reversal bar 8. So for me, I don't want a signal bar in the opposite direction that looks like that. Now, if this is a sell breakout pullback, then 10 should be a bear signal bar for a short. But all the bear bars have got tails. That's not a good buy signal on the 15-minute chart. Yeah, so if you're on demo, try and find a way to trade incredibly cheaply. One thing that you don't, one thing that's hard to replicate in demo is trading really well for many days, and then you have one day where you just kind of lose your mind and do a whole bunch of dumb stuff, and you eradicate all your profits. So I think you could be on a buy. You can also be a bear selling highs. There's no gaps. Can the bulls get a new high of the day? I'm just highlighting the 3 close. It was a breakout pullback where they entered. The 8 close, breakout pullback where they entered. So because these bulls are trading it like a bull channel, I probably want to avoid buying high on anything. So wait for the breakout and see the pullback. Okay, Eric, could this be bar 10 range breakout mode? I mean, it's definitely a trading range. We've got essentially breakout range on the 15-minute chart. This needs a second leg down, I think. Maybe you argue that this little bar was the second leg, and it could be. Can the bulls close above this range? Can they get a follow-through bar? So I was short 5. I got out above 8. And I'm happy to do either. We'll traders buy the high of the day. Okay, so we've got a double top. The high is 575. Yeah, so we've got a new high. Isn't that crazy? The volatility closed 570 and the open 558. That's a 12-point gap. Yeah, nice. You took the high 2. Yeah, you can also call it a high. Yeah, high 1 above 7, then high 2 above 8. Yeah, nice trade. So that's why the exit. So that's why I exit there. If that triggers a high 2 and I'm short, I need to be out, because if I'm flat and a high 2 sets up, I should probably take it. So as long as you look at your entries and exits that way, I think you'll have an easier time getting in sync. Okay, so buyers so far above 10. I'm going to wait and see. But I think you can probably argue it's always in long 8. Oh, nice. Anonymous, appreciate it. Yeah, you took them and merged it into one indicator. I often thought of doing that, and then I'm just not good enough at coding and ChatGPT to make it happen. So it would be way more useful just having one. You can just turn them off. So I said earlier, stop entries are not working as well as you like. So you trigger the stop entry and then we pull back to the entry. And that's what we're watching for here. Is this behavior going to continue or change? Good on you for trading from Oz, Byron. It was tricky. A lot of late nights, eh? Come home from my work and then I trade Euro and then I try and stay up and trade ES, but in the end I just go to bed and wake up early and trade the close of the US session. Then hit the beach and then go to my real job. That was it was fun. Go to my real job, so I had the funds in my trading account to blow on horrendous trading. Oh, nice. Is Grok better? I have zero loyalty to language models. You've really got to watch them, hey? They just make up stuff. I was tallying up my trades and I copy pasted into ChatGPT. I was like, hey, can you work this out? And it just looked weird. I was like, hey, can you double check that? And it was like, hey, good catch, Tim. And I'm like, man, I don't want to be good catching anything. Like, it's like basic arithmetic. Defeats the purpose if me the monkey's got to check. So Bear's trying to get a low two short, and this is your classic trading range action. We've got bull breakouts, and we're getting Bear signal bars, 3 bars against. We're still drifting sideways to up. We had a bear bar and then a reversal to a new high. So if Bear's sold on one, they're out. But they sold the close of these bear bars, which is kind of interesting. So we'll see what they do here. Oh, nice delay. Trading view. How's that? 9 seconds. That's why I wouldn't use trading view to connect to a broker. The delay is just crazy. So 11, not a good reversal bar for bears. It's probably still sideways to up. Coming up to the close of the first hour, and we're trying to work out what this bar is going to be. Looking like a bull bar closing on its high. Hi, Sucker Crypto. Taking gap down as one big bear bar. Is this a low two? Yeah, it's a tricky low two. I was thinking the same thing. If 12 goes below as a bear bar and pulls back, then that would be a better entry for me. But it's tough because where do you put your stop? There's still a gap on the pre-market a little bit higher. There's bear bars here where you could potentially sell higher, but it's probably better to be long, I think. Atomic saying Pine Script. Oh, for Copilot. Yeah, my mate said the same thing. He likes Copilot. Market structure. Yeah, so you can have spike here, or at least my view of it. You've got a spike, a pullback, and now you've got the start of a bull channel, but you need a new high. So this is now a test target for bears. You know, we can pull back and stay here and go sideways to up. For the bears, it's the opposite. They have a spike and a pullback now, but they haven't got a final part of their pullback. So two-minute chart. Where's the this one? Bulls making new highs. If you're a bull, that's probably your bar one flip up there. So if a trader sells that first bar, they either scale in, sell high, they exit at that price, and that's the 1R up there. It's been easier for bulls to make money here. One thing the bulls don't have are big gaps. So good bull trends, you know, even this trend in here, leave gaps. They break out and leave gaps. And once all those gaps close, we get back into trading range price action. Gaps, the gap closes, and then no more gaps, and then we go sideways. Still sideways to up. Can the bulls get a good 15-minute bull bar here? On the 15-minute chart, more bulls bought here, betting a couple of legs sideways to up. So they're probably going to buy and knock it out on a pullback. So 60-minute bull bar. Some traders hitting by the market. Can they get consecutive bull bars? Can they get follow through? At the moment, it looks like a sell climax with a small pullback bull trend. What's the channel? I think that's too steep. So far, bull micro channel, a trader is going to buy below the bull bar. So there was a magnet on the monthly chart. I thought if a trader decided to sell up here, betting this was a failed breakout above a bull trend, a bull channel, sorry. I have two targets. I have a sell stop for 2R and the sell to close. Because if you look at this chart, right, if you say, okay, well, trader buys there, they get this as an entry bar. They think, moving average is down there. Maybe this thing's over. They were able to get out. And once you see those traders get out, I think it's reasonable to just sell against them. So 13 coming back to test the 11 close. It's good. Now the bulls have got a gap on the 15-minute chart. So other bulls now seeing a breakout are trying to buy pullbacks. Bears tried twice to reverse it, once on 5, another time on 11, and 11 didn't even trigger. So they'd like probably a measured move up. Bulls need those consecutive bull bars. Looks like they'll get them. Nice, that's better from the Bulls. Now they've got a gap. So you can call it a double top that's failed. That was the low 2 attempt, never triggered. We go above the buy signal on 10, traders buy. So if a trader sold 1, that's kind of flipped that measure mood up. I hope that makes sense. Gap to the 12 high. Will we come back and close that gap? So far, we've come back to test every bull bar. So 3 triggers, comes back. 10 triggers. 13 closes above, comes back. 13 closes above 12, and we've got a small gap in here. $20,000 probably should be on the chart. 20,000. So they got the consecutive bull bars and they got that gap. It's a good example of 2 attempts to reverse and then 11. Some traders will just buy the close of 11 and bet against it. I think the better buy is to wait above. I waited for 12 to close in the pullback. And then I was willing to just let the long go. And then I bought on 13. So if you bought the close of 2 on the pullback, you're past your 1R target. if you use the stop on 3 and bought the high 2 on 8, you're past your 1R target. You've got consecutive bull bars and your target's still higher. So still long. I mean, it's a big pullback points-wise, but nothing to sell here. Okay, so sideways 14. Still a gap to the 12 high. Still a bull micro channel all the way up here. So this is probably going to get a second leg as well. See what the pullback's like. There's a small gap on the, that's a 15-minute chart gap. Better write that. There we go. Because we just broke out of a double top, it makes sense to come back and test this area. And I'll be watching to see, do we close in this range or do we leave gaps? Yeah, I've just closed that long. So far, not super productive. I had a short, which I closed for a small profit. Was long above 12. I just got out at break even. Testing that gap. Getting closer to the moving average. Bear's looking for some kind of a wedge to sell. Trading range price action. We go below, we go above. We break above strongly, reverse all the way back on the next bar. Is that gap still open? High Ponderosa. Oh yeah, the futures ladder. Yeah. What broker are you using? Is it the CFD or it's the off the exchange? I'm sure the spreads will be wild this week. So not what you want to see as a bull. The bear's been waiting for a reversal to sell. Okay, good bear bar 15. And you've got a 15-minute bear bar here as well. So we've had a tight channel. Decision time. So if you bought the close of 12, you've come back to your entry. If you bought 13, bad follow through, you probably had to exit at a loss or just before the bar closed. We've now come down below your bar. Let's just check 13 low, 532. Yep. So we probably need to go back to the midpoint and for any bulls that bought above 12. Wow, this is really climactic, huh? Buy signal 13, reversal 15, outside bar 16. I think the 13 bulls have just got out. So I was a bull on 12, exit break even 15. Now we're back above my entry. So it's going to be difficult for me to enter back in again above something. Is this a parabolic wedge? Needs a couple legs sideways. Hi, Hossein. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. It looks like this gap on the 15-minute is still there. Bit tricky to manage with 15 now. Bull's trying to get another high one buy signal. Big bear bar 15, big bull bar 16. Bar size 132 points, right? So trade very small. What do you do here above 16? A bit confusing. I mean, for bulls, they've got a buy signal above 16. I just got out of my long. Let's see whether they get some follow through. Heading to moving average just above. Some bears might start selling above 16. I think if you're doing anything counter trend, you need a big stop. If you sold above here, you had to sell 100 points higher. If you sold 100 points higher there, you technically got back to your position. It's been a story of the open. Bears trying to get a pullback sell, hey? Down, pullback sell 5. Didn't work. Or they got out at a scalp. Pullback sell 11 didn't trigger. Pullback sell 15 did trigger. So you got more bears selling above. I thought there'd be more bearishness after this spike, but so far we've just been drifting sideways to up. Bulls waiting for a breakout and a pullback to buy. Bears only selling above and scaling in higher. Is 20 moving average sell a good choice? I mean, we're near it. And we're just trying to see what the Bears are going to do here. So far, 16's not a great entry bar. We've still got a couple of minutes. What was the other buy that worked? 12. Get rid of those. This is not a bear bar. It's difficult to be a bear. They're still probably sideways up. So decent pullback by 8. Entry bar 9. Pullback for 10. And then 13, acceleration with an open gap. Gap closed. Now we're going sideways. For the bulls, they've still got a bull channel. So they just see, okay, breakout, 2 legs, breakout, 2 legs. Will they get another buy signal? I've been unconvinced all morning, and that's really limited my trading. I guess it's one of the problems of having a bias, eh? This is from earlier in the session at the start of the video. I said, okay, the pullback's 500 points. And we've basically done the same thing. So if any of you were at the start of the session, so mark that up. I think looking at how far pullbacks are, give you an idea. Not super bullish, but also bears not able to do a lot here. Can they get 18, 19? Go below those bars. One thing about a bull micro channel is if you're long here and your stop's down here, this is not much of a move. Yeah, it's interesting, right? The market has these pullbacks that are very, very similar. So I see that pullback. I think, okay, well, we're going down, but you know, I'm not going to heavily scale into anything if something like this is sitting there. Probably a more aggressive trader would have traded back to it. That's probably the better idea. Something I'll look at. So we've had a gap down. We've got a couple of legs up to the moving average. But so far, this bull channel's holding. We've had more of these on ES. It's not quite as strong as that. It's a bit like this day. Just kind of working higher. Bears trying to get a second entry short below 18. Some bulls will exit below a low 2. testing that bull trend line. Okay, so reasonable to sell a low 2. Other traders will wait and see what happens on 19. Does it trigger and come back? It's also a pretty tight range. Bulls are just like this channel to kind of expand. If that's like a tight range, then, we'll probably be able to draw, something like this later. They want this range to just keep going. Nice. So the low 2 triggered. So it was the same here with the high 2 or the high 1 buy. Once that triggers, you've got to get out of the way. Second entry triggers. We broke a tight trend line on the 15 minutes. We've had 2 legs up. But I don't expect this to drop like a stone. This is probably going to go sideways, the same as this has been going sideways. Another way to think of it is like a channel is half of a trading range. That was good. I got back in sync on 18. So what will bears do? If you sell under 18, they've probably got close to 1R. On Ninja Trader, I have this cool indicator that I bought for like $100, which just projects targets. That'd be really cool if TradingView do it. I actually made one called R targets. Let's go. Show bear. Show 1R. It's just a bit annoying because it covers so much of the screen. So there's the 1R from 18. Can the bears get a follow through 19? The problem the bulls had here, I think, was the stop was big. The problem here was that the stop was quite big as well. We've closed that gap. It's not a great signal bar on the 15-minute chart. So it looks like still more sideways. If the always in bulls just got out here, they had a chance to get out on the high 2. They're probably not going to buy again for a couple of legs. He says optimistically. Okay, so consecutive bear bars. Will this bar go up and let traders sell 18 again? I've just got a line under the bull bar 16. In a trading range, if you don't take an entry above something, you can buy below in a bull bar, and because you expect gaps to close. That's the nature of a trading range. Or same with a bear bar. But I'm going to watch and see what happens to these bulls. Can a bear now sell the same price I sold? Does anyone get trapped? If I was long, which I'm not, I'm short, but if I was long, I wouldn't scale into anything up here. It's a late leg. We're going sideways. And what I don't want to do is have to scale in to the low of a range. What do you think the expectation is for the rest of the day? We've had a big gap down and a bear bar. We expected some kind of a trading range. We got a bit of a, bit of a bull channel, small pullback trend. I don't know, bull channel at least. The open of the day is in the middle of the day, and I'll keep that on the chart. So when we were at 6-7, I was waiting to see would we close strongly below the open, and we reversed. Will that act as support for a double bottom and go higher? Jim MC saying trading range until US Open. Yeah, probably. The question is, where's the top and bottom? I mean, for us, we've got a fairly mild 760 points. Lots of overlapping bars. Easy to get disappointed trading with stops. How'd everyone go today so far? I had a small scalp and then a couple of break evens in here, and now I'm short. If it's trading range, it's probably going to come back to my entry. I would like it to be the start of something better, but I'll see if the market agrees with me. Or is this just going to be a pullback for something bullish? I think accepting that it's more likely to get a pullback the moment you enter is a real key to trading. There's this feeling that the moment you enter, the market should go immediately, but it's just very rare. And the bears get a third bear bar. Looks like they will. So if a trader bought above 16 and bought more below, they've got a break even here. They want to get back to this entry. I think we're high in this range, but I'll change my mind if we don't get back to the open. So 21's coming back to test the sell on 18. For bulls, they can see it as, well, we're in a bull trend and this is a high too. So you see this original channel I had, oh, not that one, this one. If I now broaden it, one of the problems with doing this below the moving average is every time you broaden it, this pullback keeps going. So I'm just going to pay attention to see what happens for these bears here. So it's a second chart sell on 18. So 18 was a reasonable sell signal. So we broke out. Now we've come back to allow other traders to enter. And if 21's a big bull bar up here and we trigger it, then we'll probably keep overlapping those entries. If the bull high 2 fails, measured move down. Yeah, so that's often what I look at, mate, because I'm looking to see, are we still in a pullback from this or are we something new? 18, 19 is better for the bears because it's below the moving average. Whereas all this, you notice I was hesitant to buy above anything because I'm on the wrong side of the moving average. But now we're getting very directional, strong bear bars. So, bulls are still able to buy below, but we'll see. I think 21, 22 is what they need. That trend line got broken, so I'll get rid of that. Bears can do the opposite. They can sell above bear bars and scale in higher, betting that the gaps are going to close. But I would go easy on the scale-ins with this bar range. Gap to the 17 low. Atomic's asking, how do you differentiate between a breakout and a new spike climax? Yeah, I mean, that's the $64 million question, isn't it? I generally use leg counting and try and use context with a higher time frame. So I know this is a bear spike and I'm expecting, 1, 2, 3, expecting a couple legs sideways to up. And so I'm trying to marry the two up in my head and just take a position and see what happens. So it was a low too short on 18, but now what do you do if this bar closes a huge bull bar above your position? Oh, you probably got to get out break even. Or is this a pullback from this? So, and that's what trading ranges are always doing. Because this buy above failed and this buy above failed, I still wouldn't become a bull above anything. If this is going to be a bull flag, for example, and we're going to go up here, I'll just line my stop, I think. Okay, so another 15-minute bull bar. So good bar 21. So will I be able to get out of my entry at 18, or am I going to get stopped out and have to reverse? This is what we shall see. think that one's gone, isn't it? Let's put a freshie on there. So bulls have got a high 221, big bar. So far, no one's stuck. If you bought 13, reverse came back. If you sold 15, reverse came back. Sold 18. These traders are waiting to get a chance to scale in or exit. Bulls are hoping to trap them and go higher. Will the bears on 18 get out? Will they get stuck? Well, looks like I'm getting stuck as a bear. Probably just exit on the breakout and follow through. So consecutive bull bars, not what I want if I'm short. I haven't really got a bar to scale in, so I'll just exit if we trigger this buy signal. It looks like we triggered it on TradingView, but not my terminal, so I'm not sure about that. Nice. Okay, I'm out of that. G'day, Victor. One thing I don't like with futures, you can't hedge. Yeah, that's true. Um, yeah, and the FIFO. Yeah, totally. And that's one of the tricky things with scaling is because you think you've managed it well, and then you look at the prices and you think, oh, well, they took the entry out of that first one. So still sideways. This gap's closed. These gaps are closed. The next gap, I don't think there's any below. So basically, it looks like a bear trap from the open. We came back to test the one high. So if we draw a measured move from there, we've got 838. What do we had? We had a sell. Well, selling one's a bit difficult because it's got a big tail. Reversal bar 2 gets follow through, gets more follow through on 4. Pull back to the 3 close. Then we had a high 1, 8 or high 2, 9 to a new high. So always in long, potentially from 8, 9. D pullback 15, second entry short 18. I thought always in bulls got out. Now you've got signal bar 21, 22. But we've basically been going sideways for an hour and a half. So far, the sell of the day above 15. Sell 18, not able to break even yet. Could be on the buy from 21. I wonder if there was another time frame that was a bit easier to read. Let's have a look. 15-minute chart, just all overlapping, but still tight for the bulls. 30-minute. Breakout to a new high, expanding triangle, pull back, couple of legs up, 1, 2, 3. 2 attempts to break out, double top, double bottom, and I think we're in breakout mode. Bulls have got a good 15-minute signal bar here, but I think the same issue, the stops down here. Maybe that would have been the play. The wonders of hindsight, eh? Stop below 7. 50% pullback. Now we'll see. Another sell signal for the bears at the moving average. Can they get back to the 18 close? Hi, Javier. Tim, would you go long at the hour close? If this was above the moving average, yes. But this body's kind of small. So I looked at the 60-minute chart. So that's 12. And we're crisscrossing it. So it might be right. Maybe if this gets follow through in the second hour and then a pullback. Sometimes you get a good signal bar that's for the bulls under the moving average and it pulls back to 30%, 50%. This was one of the things we spoke about at the start of the session. Overall the market's bearish, but the bull moves are strong. And so they break above to sell off. They break above to sell off. So bears should be able to get out break even at 18. If you sold 15, your stop didn't get hit. If you sold 18, your stop didn't get hit. If you sold 23, your stop didn't get hit. Nice. So you could exit break even if you sold 18. Nice. Is this a potential lower high major trend reversal? We did break a trend line here. So broke a trend line and then a test. I mean, we're still under both moving averages. I think this 15-minute bar will help. The bears tried to sell once here. You can see that the aggressive acceleration has stopped and we're starting to go sideways. It'd be better if they could break something. Should get down to the 20 high. That's the last gap. So far, the open of the day and bar one have been acting as support. So consecutive bear bars, consecutive bull bars, consecutive bear bars. So if you sold 18, we just came back to your break even. To get more bears excited to sell, you're probably going to have to put bulls under some stress under 21. Are we always in long or always in short? We're going sideways for about 90 minutes. It looks like we've still got a layer of support. Open of the day still in the middle of the day. So bulls probably got to do more. $60-minute bar, so bad follow through on that bar is to be expected. So the 12 close and the 12 high. I think Javier, you were asking about that. So now that's what I'm going to look at now. What happens here? bulls seem to be buying every bear signal bar. We haven't triggered the sell below 25. We haven't triggered the sell below that 15-minute bar. Okay, so triggering the second entry short for bears on the 15-minute chart. Will they sell below 24? Bears need to go below 21. So the last, well, the high of today, 14, pullback high one, 16, failed. Pullback high two, 21. So you could still be long at the 21 high. If you took the second entry short, 18, you got a chance to get out break even, or you're holding. So we've got a sell below 18 and a buy above 21. And we're just hovering in this range. So someone's stops need to get run. It looks like that's bad follow through on the 60-minute chart. Lots of limit order scalping. Selling, selling above. Selling 18, selling above, exit break even. Okay, so bears got below the 21 low. Let's see what's going to happen. No signals on the 15-minute chart have really failed for the bulls. So we had a spike down, we had an open gap here, and we filled that gap. Okay, that gap. The break even for bulls on 21. Looks like it's 550. So if a trader bought that high two, bought lower, they've got an exit potentially there. I think it's a 15-minute sell signal, but you know, will the 60-minute bulls hold? Where's the bull stop? Bull stop still probably down here. This box is for the 60-minute traders. Did they buy above there? Are they going to buy more? Or will they see this follow through and wait for another buy signal? If I put the Frankfurt on sideways, maybe we'll see this as a reversal bar. Both possible. Oh, you got rid of your comment. I agreed on the 15-minute. Yeah, just lots of overlap. Not easy for stop entry traders. So we're forming a triangle. If you're not very good at this environment, look at signals that fail. So 13, if you take, you get a chance to exit. Traders sell there. You have a second entry short 11. It's a bad looking signal bar, but we come back to test it. If you took 16, it triggers, but it comes back to let you out. What it's doing is it's constantly floating back to where those traders entered. And I believe because those traders are not taking a full position, they're looking at, hey, I'll take, you know, quarter of a position, third of a position, half of a position. And they're expecting the market to let them out. Traders are also entering at extremes. So they're waiting for the bull breakout to sell. They're waiting for the bear breakout to buy. And it's hard to manage because at some point you're going to be wrong. Well, I like the 15-minute bears signal bar so far, 12. Decent entry bar, 13. And if I was a 60-minute bull, that was the box for them. But it's all been pretty sideways. Okay, Leon. Hope you're well. We've just been going sideways for the past hour or so. A little bit longer, actually. So we're below the moving average and we're starting to trigger bear bars. So I thought we might go sideways to down. We had a couple of decent sell signals, 15 triggered, 18 triggered, 24 triggered. But bears need to make these bulls lose money. So far, the bulls have been buying above, buying below, and they've been okay. And it seems easy in hindsight, but if 28, 29 are big bear bars and you've been scaling in, you might quickly find your size is too big. Problem for the bears, open of the day, flip to support. Expectations are that this will turn into a trading range. I think still. By the end of bar 18, we've seen either the high or the low. On a rare percentage of days, do we get a new high and a new low? Because we're below both moving averages, I tend to give a few extra percentage points to the bears, but that's punished me a little bit today because we've just been working higher. Those little percentage points, eh? I think we're in breakout mode. We've had, a couple of legs sideways. We've got a double top. We've got a double bottom. Sweet sound of a phone dropping. Fantastic. Bears trigger another sell signal below the moving average. Good for bears. They've got consecutive bear bars. They need gaps. They need big bear bars. They really need a double bottom to fail. I took my expectation for a pullback from the 24-hour chart on the German 30. This is called harmonics. And you're just looking at pullback distances. Generally, as trends progress, they get larger, but often you get these two-legged moves. I'm still holding short, and it would be great if I could end the stream green, but sometimes it's just not possible. But I think that's more reality. How'd Tom go, Leon? He's probably on the long side, hey? I think he usually trades the 10 and 15 minute. That's probably a bit cleaner for a long entry. So consecutive bear bars again. Couple of legs down. We've had a lot of two-legged moves. Up, two, down, two, up, two. Oh yeah, he's long, was he? Yeah, it was. I mean, I was short and stopped for zeros, and then I took a small loss, and then a scalp short, and then I'm still holding short. So when you see a chart like that, like this, I used to feel like, oh, there's a perfect way to trade a trading range. But what I've learned over the past few years is it doesn't matter which side you picked, you just didn't get what you wanted. And so I think part of trading is to get in sync. And so what I said over here is when I took a stop entry, okay, it didn't work. I'm not going to do it again. You know, I took a stop entry long and then I exit break even. Well, I'm not going to do it again. I'm going to wait for a deeper pullback. I'm going to try and buy below something. And so as everyone gets disappointed, the range tends to shrink. That's my explanation for what a triangle is. So open to hear everyone else's. That's how I look at it. And so if you then take that conclusion and go, okay, well, I'll just approach every day like a trading range, you'll have this really high hit rate until you have a strong trend. So I think it's that ability to switch. My mistakes today, I was short. I saw 8. I took the right exit. 9 was a buy the close, which I missed. For a second leg sideways to up. The short was okay. Yeah, so just slow, too slow. Too slow on a Monday morning, unfortunately. So we've gone below the bull signal bar on the 15-minute chart. That's the first time all morning. So this bull bar here. The break even's up there. So I'm really glad we got this on the stream about the 60-minute chart. So you've got a 60-minute buy signal. It needs good follow through. Yes, it broke above, but it's a bear bar. And that means when we come back to it, we'll see whether those 60-minute traders stayed in or not. This happened on ES a couple of times last week. 60-minute chart, they just didn't get what you wanted. So you take it and then exit, and then you've got opportunity to fade where those traders got in. Why is it not a perfect system? Because a 60-minute chart can take many bars. So testing the high of bar 1 again. How'd you go today, Leon? Were you doing the same? You were long and trying to scalp up? Good looking bars. I mean, just good looking bars, just in an overall bearish environment. It's tricky. Nice, good on you. Not, well, the ABR is coming down now. I mean, here the ABR was like 150 or something. Stupid. 200 or something. So far, no bulls have been stopped out. So midpoint of this 15-minute bar is here. So if you're a 15-minute bull, you bought the close, bought above, bought below, around about this price, we'll see where there are new bulls. Big pullback 30. Let's see, will I stay in this short? Well, we've tested the 12 close, we've tested the 12 low. If that's a short, I need open of the day. Is 30 going to close good for Timmy F or not? Yeah, not easy with those big bars starting. Yeah, that's it. And so if you're someone that counts points, like as your way of entering and exiting, I'm not much of a point counter. A lot of traders do. But I just find that when the volatility changes, my maths is all off. So I typically just use the price action setups from the bars, and that means sometimes at the end of the day, 5 or 10 or 20 or 30 was the figure. It's like okay, in hindsight. But he's not really doing what I want, is it? Man. Have a look at the 15-minute chart, how we're going to close here. Okay, so bull's trying to get some kind of a double bottom here. The bears short on the 15-minute chart. They've got a decent entry bar and now sideways. A couple of legs sideways in a channel. Maybe we'll come back up to the 60-minute chart again. That's about 2.5 hours. I might pull the stream up there. Really appreciate everyone jumping on and joining. I hope that was valuable for you. I didn't trade the open too well. A couple of scalps, a couple of short scalps, and I'm holding one short position. See if I can get a move down. Hope you did okay. Big ABR, very volatile, so easy to do a lot of account damage. Trade safe. And yeah, and I'll work on a schedule for ongoing rooms. Cheers, everyone. I hope you're well. And I think if you're in the Brooks price action trading room, Tim Stout's in there this evening, and then I'll catch you later in the week. Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Take it easy, and I'll catch you soon.